I want to talk. I want to have a chat, but like, it's a sensitive topic. Just come on in here. Yeah, come on in close. Yeah, real close. So we just have a one-on-one chat about this. Yep, come on in. I'm just gonna whisper it, okay? Okay, here we go. I'm not sure if Supreme is actually any good. Yeah, like, I can't tell. And if they're not good, I can't tell when it happened. I mean, it would be easy to point to last November when they were acquired by VF Corporation, which also owns the North Face and Timberland and whatnot. Like, that would follow the easy narrative, and I'm sure I could totally get away with saying it. You know, Supreme used to be so sick, but then they sold out to the suits and now they're like totally played out. But at the same time, I don't think that excuse works at all. I mean, for one, I'm sure they already had this year's spring-summer collection planned out long before the acquisition. With manufacturing times and everything, they're probably putting these collections together at least a year in advance. And beyond that, Supreme releases were starting to look a little sketchy long before Big Daddy VF took the reins. On the other hand though, it really does feel like things have been getting progressively worse over at the Big S. Like, they just put out another North Face collab. And the last one they did before that was literally 2 months earlier. And then 3 months before that. It's just a fucking lot. Like, I know the little kids go nuts for the North Face collabs, but this horse was tenderized many seasons ago. But on the flip side of that, god damn it, sometimes the North Face collections are still good. Like, this most recent one is kind of fire, though I am loath to admit that because I also just said they're doing way too many of them. I mean, if this is all part of the grand plan for Supreme global dominance, just stop tiptoeing around the damn thing and make Supreme the streetwear imprint of the North Face and get it over with. This is basically the fashion collab equivalent of me yelling, "Get a room, you two." Anyway, this isn't a problem we're gonna solve by just vaguely talking about various lackluster pieces or drops that the brand has done. You see, Supreme's weekly drop format kind of makes it hard to zoom out and look at a whole season or year's output and ask yourself if it's actually worth buying a bot army to get your hands on. Instead, it feeds into that narrative that they really want you to buy into, which is that every week or two, they'll release one grail piece or so that everyone gets worked up, and most people won't get it, and then they end up just buying a consolation prize for themselves while they're on the site anyway. Most brands reveal their entire collection at once, so you can see for yourself whether they're actually on the right track overall or not. Supreme intentionally make that really tough, so we've got to do the hard work ourselves. Don't we always have to? It's so annoying. They expect us to do everything. But in that spirit, today we're going to look back at Supreme's total output over the past couple of seasons to once and for all determine if, they suck or not. Strap in. But first, I've looked into it, and a very small percentage of you are actually subscribed to the channel. It's completely free. Just press that button and you will not regret it. Thank you so much. Alright, let's do it. Let's start off. Luckily, Supreme does have a whole archive of their past news posts, and they always make news posts about collabs, new season collections, stuff like that. So it is actually pretty easy to go back and look at the entire history and archive of the Supreme brand. So first, let's take a look at the collaborations, because you can see that's what most of these are up until you get to where they reveal the mainline collections themselves, the non-collab pieces, sort of at the start of this season. So, this past season, what collabs did we have? Well, we just had the North Face, right? And this one was actually pretty good. I think this piece is cool. I think it's one of the better Supreme North Face collections that they've come out with in some time. I think it's called, the Summit series. So there was some cool stuff there as you go through this. Nice colors. This is just whatever, super boring. But I mean, I guess basics are kind of in right now, right? It's a nice backpack. So this one, in the grand scheme of things, actually one of the better mainstream collabs they've done in some time, I would say. Timberland, another brand that they collab with way too often for my taste. I have zero interest in Timberland. I know there's a subcultural thing to it, especially, within black culture, also streetwear culture. Timberland has its own thing. It never really resonated with me, but I get it. I just think their collabs don't really do anything, in my opinion. This one, some of these pieces, the big logo is kind of cool, but this is terrible. It looks like a gas station logo or something. It's just super, super forgettable, in my opinion. And like, all the Timberland collabs are super forgettable, in my opinion. Then we had Milan, which was a new box logo. Of course, people are going to go nuts for new box logos. They do a new one like usually once per season, I believe, and they open a new Milan store, so they did one here. The box logos are the box logos. There are so many of them at this point that they're kind of starting to lose their luster, in my opinion, but that's what gets people hyped. But I think sooner or later, they're going to need to come up with a new super hype piece that they can do every season that gets people really excited, because the box logos, I don't know if they're going to last forever. Like, it's been a long time since I've even gone out of my way to try and get a new box logo. Then we had Jamie Reed. This one's actually pretty cool. British artist and radical activist. It's all bollocks, very kind of like Sex Pistols-y. So this one, it's kind of cheeky, fuck all. It's kind of classic Supreme, kind of middle finger vibes, you know? So I can get down with this. It's not like classic Supreme either. Like, I doubt any of these are going to be like grails or not going to be super resellable. I could be totally wrong. Maybe these are crazy valuable. The varsity jacket I could see being pretty valuable and good at resale. But other than that, it's not the kind of, you know, historical piece that people are going to be talking about from Supreme for years to come. Then we had an Air Max. They do a lot of collabs with Nike. Again, 1 or 2 per season usually. The Air Max was nice enough. The Air Forces are super boring to me. I'm not even going to look at that. It's a Nike shoe. People like them, I guess. Then we get into the spring tees. Every season, they do a drop of graphic t-shirts. These ones were actually overall pretty good. I thought this one was really fun, really kind of in your face, subversive. So I was down with that. This one was terrible. That looks like a, I don't know, a commemorative tee. I don't know. Again, this one was Anna Nicole Smith. Every season they'll do like a big blown up picture of a celebrity. That's a good one, in my opinion. I loved this big spell out floral tee. This was actually probably the standout to me. And this with these lettering, it's nice enough. It's okay. This one, they usually have like a hand-drawn one every season as well. I've got one from an older season, and they're also decent. This one's super boring. More Anna Nicole Smith, and now we're getting into the specifics. So this drop overall is actually on the better side for what they've been doing lately. Then we had Clayton Patterson. This one was actually really, really cool. You're kind of starting to notice that a lot of their artist collabs are actually the best pieces, but also the ones that have way less hype behind them. Like, people flip out for the North Face ones, but then you get something like this, and it's forgotten a week later, when this to me is so much cooler, you know? So I think that's actually super sick. This collection was a lot of fun. These pieces, they're super kind of iconic in my opinion, but again, nobody's even talking about them anymore. Then you had some Doc Martens. The zebra ones were pretty cool. Orange ones, they're nice. Honestly, I mess with it. I think some Supreme Doc Martens, it's a nice flex. I love the look of a classic Doc Marten, so I ain't complaining. And before that, we had Hysteric Glamour. And this collection was actually super, super cool. They've done multiple collections with Hysteric Glamour before, and they're all really cool. This coat is like grail status in my opinion. I haven't checked resale on these, but I hope they're reselling well, because this was one of the best collabs of the past season in my opinion. Then we had a couple Nikes. The Dunk Low is probably one of the better Nike sneakers Supreme has done in some time, so I'm down with that. And then those were all the collabs for this season. And then we get into the mainline non-collab pieces. And this is where we can really start to dive in and see how we feel about stuff. All right, so here are the Spring Summer 21 pieces. All in all, this is on Supreme community. People like upvote, downvote them. So I think these are actually categorized by the most upvoted to the least. So let's see how much we agree with people in general here. So Frayed Logos denim trucker jacket. It's super hype beastie, super kind of like Balenciaga. They do that all over logo a lot. Supreme trying to get into that game, it's kind of whatever, but I can see why it's hyped. It does look good. That logo, that sans serif font is super iconic, so I understand why people like this. I probably wouldn't buy it, but I ain't mad about it. Then obviously we get some collabs that were super popular. Spell Out track jacket, boring as hell. Just really, really dumb, basic like athleisure stuff. No thank you. Bandana faux fur bomber jacket, yes please. That's really cool. That's really interesting. You know what I mean? Like, that pattern is super, super pleasing to the eye, in my opinion. The brown, less so. I don't know why they do that in a brown, but the black and the pink are both actually really cool. Then we've got a bunch more collabs here, yada, yada, yada. St. Michael fleece jacket. Again, people tend to like the more out there pieces, as you can see, and I do too. Like the fur bombers with the bandana print, this St. Michael fleece. I think this is kind of where Supreme tends to shine a lot more when they do these big poppy all over graphics. But again, that is also starting to lose its luster a little bit. Like, if you go to any mall in a city of even moderate to large size, every crappy streetwear store in the mall is going to have off-brand versions of pieces like this. So you could get it from Supreme, or you could get it in the mall from a nobody brand. Obviously, one is way more hype than the other, but it's not like it's totally unique and something that you can't get anywhere else at this point. Like, other brands are doing it and knocking it off to the point where I don't know if it has as much meaning anymore. And you get some Gore-Tex stuff. Gore-Tex doesn't do anything for me, but I'm not like a super outdoorsy person, so I guess I'll refrain from talking too much about that. Floral tapestry anorak. It's okay, it reminds me a bit of like Kith or something, but Supreme also has a long history of doing floral, which I tend to like more than a lot of their other stuff, so, you know, it's pretty decent. The reflective zip hooded jacket is another just hot pile of nothing. And again, this is more liked than disliked, so if this is what people are going for, we might just be on like a different page at this point, you know? This track jacket is actually pretty cool, like 90s basketball, Chicago Bulls vibes, so I'm down with that. Fuck down jacket. So we saw this kind of graphic on that spring t-shirt, but when you do it in an all-over down jacket, it actually works a lot better, I think. Again, this isn't something I would wear, but I understand the appeal. Iggy Pop puffy jacket. This is actually one of the best pieces of the season, in my opinion. I love Iggy Pop. The Passenger is one of the greatest pop songs of all time. So, yeah, hell yeah. And this is like classic Supreme. This is what they've been doing for their entire history, and they do it better than anyone else when they're kind of appropriating that celebrity pop culture stuff. They're so, so good at it. So this is honestly what I want to see more of from them. Old English varsity jacket. I mean, I like a varsity jacket, but this is just an excuse to slap Supreme on something and make some quick money, in my opinion. Reversible tech worker jacket is super, super boring. Peacock jacket, give me those all over prints any day. I agree with the people that dislike this. It's not the best design, but their all over prints are where they're at their best. This is an abomination. It's like Two Wolf Moon stuff. Is that what it was called back in the day? That like meme shirt. This is terrible. This is terrible. Yeah, we're getting into the disliked stuff now, and it's not going to be great. Mesh pocket cargo jacket, boring. People didn't like the Vanson vest for some reason. I thought that would have been more hype, but I don't really like it. I just thought other people might like it more. Whatever. Cross-panel track jacket, Polar Tech line sideline parka, Coach's jacket, ugh, I'm so over Coach's jackets, no thank you. A boring plain wool suit, why? Supreme has done suits before, but they've done them in like a Supreme way. This is like a gray suit, I don't understand, no. Logo camo M65 jacket, like a digital camo, I think that's actually pretty cool. I don't know why people dislike that so much. A suede jacket, it's not like super branded, it's not super Supreme-y, but I do like the look actually. And now it's probably gonna start getting rough. Oh no, braided leather overcoat. That's hideous. Hooded face mask parka. No thank you. Leather work jacket. This one's actually kind of cool. I don't know why people hated this one so much. Dragon track jacket. Disgusting. Barn coat. That design, again, kind of cool. Maybe I just like the really loud stuff, but overall, I get it, not great. Patch denim vest is super cool, and it's super like, that's classic Supreme vibes in my opinion, so I'm down with that one. Bandana silk short sleeve shirt. Yeah, this worked way better as the fur bomber. Yeah, this is a no from me. Dog short sleeve work shirt with Snoopy on it, honestly, I'm fine with it. I'm good with it. Muhammad Ali's zip up short sleeve shirt. Nah, doesn't do it for me. Again, that's kind of like mall graphic stuff. Not great. Blessings ripstop shirt. That's kind of a cool like streetwear vibe, but also a little outdated, like kind of like older streetwear that's not as much in style anymore. Iggy Pop short sleeve shirt. Love it. Hate that graphic. We've already gone over that. No thank you. This is like some pop art, Andy Warhol stuff that is not working for me at all. And now it's getting into like the really wacky stuff. Wash corduroy shirt. This is super boring. Plaid flannel shirt. Super boring. And now we're just getting into the worst of the worst. Terrible graphics. Terrible graphics. Plain Oxford shirt. Who wants a plain Supreme Oxford shirt? Same with a denim shirt, a scorpion jacquard shirt, gingham shirt. Oh, what are we doing here? It's so bad, you guys. But now we're back to the best of the best t-shirts. Here we go. Antarcia spell out short sleeve shirt. That's again pretty like gas station-y or something, almost like a Coca-Cola type of thing, but I kind of mess with it. Small box tee. I guess it's an easy way in for the brand. Biggie short sleeve top. I can see why people liked it so much, but again, this is like mall kiosk level stuff in my opinion. And now we're getting into just like some really rough, this is soccer jersey in Arabic is horrific. Blurred arc shirt, just some more excuses to throw Supreme onto stuff. This split baseball tee is kind of cool. I mess with that. I also like a layered skate shirt. I do mess with that. But from there, it's a lot of really dated stuff. Like, I just don't know how many people are going for pieces like these anymore. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they're still selling, but they're only selling because it's Supreme. And that's kind of one of the most common complaints people throw at them is that the stuff isn't worth it and that it's only hype because it's Supreme. And in the past, I pushed back against that a little bit, but like when you start to look at this stuff, I'm starting to understand it a bit more. This sweater is horrible. Che Guevara, it's more mall kiosk stuff. Like, once you get into these graphics, I don't even want to go over each of these anymore because they're like really rough, honestly. It's sad to see. Cause, I am a big Cause fan, but like, this is what you had him do. You have one of like the great artists of our time and you have him do a chalk box logo. It's really disappointing. And you just scroll through this and it's just so much product and barely any of it has a reason to exist, you know? There's that box logo. You've got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Maybe I'm just like getting old or I've grown out of Supreme, but most of it just doesn't do it for me anymore, you know? And I don't know what direction they're going in. Like they're catering to a customer base that I just don't know. How old are they? What are they into? They're making stuff for people who like Supreme, and that's kind of the end of it. I don't know. I hope they turn it around. I think maybe they need a new voice in there, but it's also kind of scary now that they're owned by VF that they're going to get pushed into the kind of like mainstream more and more and more, and do more of the mass markety mall looking stuff potentially to up their sales. Or maybe they just start pumping out 20 different types of box logos per season. Like, that would be the worst case scenario. But I almost wish they went back smaller, like they didn't get taken over by VF, and they could really go back and whittle down the collections and work on more interesting out there stuff, because that's what kind of speaks to me. But I don't know, maybe me and Supreme just aren't on the same page anymore.